Strictly Strings, Book 1, pages 11 and 12, Learning Notes on the A string. When we get into these pages, we should read our reminders first. For instance, a whole step, a reminder of that distance of fingers being a little bit spread apart, half step closer together. Third reminders to keep your fingers down on the string as much as possible. So for instance, if your third finger is down, you also want to make sure the other fingers stay down and they're not lifting up off the string. And other instruments have more reminders, like cellos and bass. We also want to remember to keep your elbow away from your side and make sure your wrist is straight and not collapsing. Bass reminders that your third finger is always helping out the fourth finger, so there's a little assistance whenever you use your fourth finger to use your third finger to help. And keep the neck of your bass close to your neck, so you don't want to have it way out here. We are going to tune first, so first find your comfortable place with your instrument. And maybe you've been working on that bow hold, holding a pencil, practicing with the pencil, watching TV, and practicing violins and violas, curving our pinky, cellos and basses, relaxed and hanging over the side. The curved thumb is the same for all instruments. The idea is if our strings sound mostly the same, that's great, but we're going to slowly start using our fine tuners to make adjustments. So if you need to go a little higher, we go righty-tighty, or a little lower, lefty-loosey. And we can use an electronic tuner as an assistant. Let's first check our A string, D string, G string, C string. That's for viola and cello, and violin and bass, E string. On basses, you're going to sound a lot lower, but it's going to be a similar type of note. We're going to put our bow off to the side because we don't need it for the lesson today. We'll get more into the bow in the next couple of pages. So let's make sure out of all the strings, the A string is the most in tune. So if it sounded off, maybe we turn it once to the right, a little righty-tighty clockwise turn to make it go a little higher, but mostly it should stay in tune. On page 11, we're going to start learning our notes, A, B, C sharp, D. Basses, you're going to learn a few extra notes, but the main thing is we're focusing on staying on the A string at first, learning A, B, and C sharp. I'm going to play exercises 1 through 5 without stops, and I'm going to cancel the repeat signs, though it is good on your own to practice each song twice. Here we go. Page 11, number 1. 1, 2, ready, go. Number 2, ready, go. Number 3, ready, go. Number 4, prepare your fingers. Number 5, ready, go. Good job. Now, if you found that was too fast, you can pause the video and practice it on your own with a metronome, keeping a beat, something slower. Instead of 92, you could go back to 80 or 60 beats per minute. Or you could just rewind and practice it again to get really good at those notes. The last 2 songs I'm going to do 2 times, Au clair de la lune and Marching Along. So let's try to concentrate on all the notes that they're asking us to play, and let's try number 6 first. And 2 times number 6. work. Let's try number 7. Go to the D string to start off. And number 7, marching along. Okay, that might have been a little fast, but it gets you thinking fast, and it incorporates everything we learned from page 9 and 10 and page 11. Let's go on to page 12. So now we get to add another note. Violins and violas, you're just putting down your 3rd finger. So now we have what's called high D. So violins and violas will have a high D and the low D. So 2 different Ds, and you can tell on the music because the higher D is located higher and the lower D lower. For cellos, we are adding 4th finger D with your open D, so we'll have 4 and open. And basses, you are also going to add another note on your G string, so by the time we get to the D major scale, you'll have another added note on your G string, which is the note B. So what's great about this book is if you use the pictures at the top and you see where the fingers go, that can give you a lot of information about what to do. We see that the musical alphabet, as many of us know, is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it repeats. That's why we'll have a high D and a low D. For basses, you're just going to use the open D twice, so you haven't learned your high D quite yet. We are going to learn a scale on this page, which is 8 notes in a row that form the music alphabet, and there's the example of the D major scale. So let's start first with the first few exercises, number 1, 2, and 3. I will only do those one time. And I'm going to go a little slower for this page. I'm going to go down to 80 clicks per minute. And this way we can start incorporating the new note on the A string and mixing it with the other notes we learned on the D string. Here we go. Page 12, number 1, numbers 1 through 3, one time. 1, 2, number 1. Good. And number 2, ready, go. Prepare your fingers, number 3. High D. Okay, pause and take a break. So one thing to think about is that sometimes our instruments are just a little bit different, and basses will not have the high D yet. You're going to learn that in a little bit. But basses instead, you are learning a high B instead. So if you try to focus on what the pictures show and what the song looks like, it might kind of just be self-explanatory. So basses do not have a high D. You're just using your regular D, just a little difference. So now that we've learned all those notes, let's try the full D major scale. And this song is 2 lines long. So what you need to notice with your eyes is watch as the notes go higher up and when they make a jump down, because that will tell you if you need to play the high D or the low D. The main idea is we're going up the string with all the fingers we know and down the string. So violins and violas, open 1, 2, 3, open 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, open, 3, 2, 1, open. Cellos, open 1, 3, 4, open 1, 3, 4, 4, 3, 1, open, 4, 3, 1, open. And basses, you're a little more complicated because you're going to go open 1, 4, open 1, 4, open 1, 4, and then you have a jump involved in yours because your instrument is built a little differently, so you're gonna have to jump around your instrument. But follow the finger numbers and the note names and it should help you out. Finally, before we play, we musicians think in finger numbers sometimes, but it's most important to think about the note name and making a connection that D is open and E is 1 and that kind of thing. Here we go, number 4, the D major scale. And a 1, 2, ready, go. Second line. Very good. Last song, D and A string march. Again, look through the song and notice how it starts on the lower D and the ways it goes up and down. So we're going to be wanting to be ready to jump around from the D string and the A string. Away we go. Number 5, ready, go. Congratulations, you know all your strings on the D and A string, so happy practicing.